Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Black History Moments with Terrace. I'm Terrace Bozeman, and I hope you guys are ready because I'm dropping some fresh knowledge on you guys today. Stay tuned into the video to learn more. Today our main focus is on how history repeats itself. So we'll be looking at Emmett and another current event that just recently happened. Emmett was a 14-year-old African-American boy who was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. During the summer of 1955, he was visiting family in the Mississippi Delta region when he went to a small grocery store and spoke to the clerk, Caroline Bryant. Even though what happened in the store was a matter of dispute between Emmett and Caroline, he was accused of whistling or flirting with Miss Bryant. Caroline Bryant testified that Emmett made physical and verbal advancements towards her. The jury did not get to hear Emmett's testimony because the judge ruled it inadmissible. After the incident happened, Caroline's husband Roy and his half-brother abducted Emmett, beat him, mutilated him, and shot him in the head. And then after that, they sunk his body in the Tallahatchie River. 3 days later, his body was discovered, and it wouldn't take a fool to suspect who did all those horrible things to him. In 2008, Caroline Bryant was interviewed by a historian, and she confessed to fabricating half her story, in which that half was when she accused Emmett of grabbing her waist and making verbal obscenities. Even though it is commonly said that the system was created for justice and to help and protect people, it has a certain way of showing which race they will always protect no matter what. The newspapers and law enforcement decried the violence against Emmett, but responded by defending the Mississippians and giving the killers their full support. To no surprise, the killers were acquitted on September 23rd, and the same thing would happen exactly 65 years later. Acquitted means to be freed from criminal charges after the verdict has come back as not guilty. Breonna Taylor was a 26-year-old African-American woman who was sleeping in her home peacefully when Jonathan Mattingly, Brett Hankinson, and Miles Cosgrove fatally shot her. They entered her home in Louisville, Kentucky on March 13th, executing a search warrant. Yes, the officers may have knocked before entering, but they did not announce themselves, which they are supposed to be trained to do. Breonna and her boyfriend Kenneth got out of bed after hearing the knocks and asked who was at the door. There was no response, so they thought they were being burglarized by intruders. Kenneth fired his weapon, which he had a permit for, and shot Jonathan Mattingly in the leg. After this, they thought it would be logical to fire 20 shots in return for one shot being fired. Breonna Taylor was shot 5 to 6 times and struggled to breathe for 5 minutes before she passed away. They had an ambulance on standby, but told them to leave an hour before the raid. Of course, it wouldn't make any sense to sit here and ponder on what if they did this or why did they make this decision, because the system was made to back them up on any decision they make. Brett Hankinson was indicted on September 23rd, but not for the murder of Breonna Taylor. He was indicted for 3 measly counts of endangerment. Endangerment is when you put someone at risk of being in danger. Yes, they did put other neighbors in danger, if you would argue so, but the only real people in danger were Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker. The other 2 officers weren't indicted, so all of the officers were acquitted for the murder of Breonna Taylor, and this is truly disheartening. Although this topic was very hard for me to speak on and even read or write about, I hope I enlighten you guys decisions you make on the world today and choose to change it in a better way from the way it is today. So as always, remember to hit that like button and red subscribe button below, and stay tuned in for more videos. Remember, do not underestimate the power of African Americans.